Department, represented by the Ministry of Education and NDLEA, has formally agreed to introduce compulsory drug testing in tertiary institutions alongside integrating drug education into secondary and primary school curriculum. Now, there are three-pronged strategy: review and update drug education in secondary schools to address evolving psychoactive substances, launch standalone drug prevention initiatives, lectures, competitions, and parent-involved programs, implement mandatory drug testing in universities and polytechnics, targeting new enrollees, returning students, and conducting random testing. Now, to bolster this effect, a substance use prevention unit has been established within the Ministry of Education. Funding support is being coordinated through the UBEC, Tech Fund, and the NDLEA Academy in Jos. Now, frame this initiative as more than enforcement. It's a public health intervention with supports like counseling, rehabilitation, and 24-hour helplines rather than penalization or expulsion. Institutions examples already underway, like Kwara State University. In December, Kwara State held a flag-off ceremony for 8 drug testing program in collaboration with NDLEA. Over 500 students were tested in a day. Those found positive were offered counseling, while rehabilitation costs were borne by families. No students were expelled. Lagos State University, in August 2025, last week declared that 4,500 prospective students for the 2024-2025 session will be screened for drugs before admission. The decision was taken after an incident involving a drug-addicted student. The move underscores the institution's role in nurturing teachers with high moral standards. Now again, University of Abuja adopted pre-admission drug testing in partnership with NDLEA, making it a requirement for entry. These are all, there's a whole lot of it now that the government is trying to do now. You're welcome to Inside the Mirror with Bit Benjamin. Today, we are taking a closer look at an issue that shaped conversations across Nigeria: drug testing in our universities. Now, from here, from Kwara to Lagos to Abuja, now students are being asked to, they're returning back when you go through this drug testing, not simply to punish students, but to guide, to rehabilitate, and to protect the next generation. But what does that mean for young people, their parents, and the very future of education in Nigeria? A lot of people now, the mirror is all about shaping our family to get a better society. When you see your reflection in the mirror, that is who you are. It corrects you, it reflects and then picks out those details that you cannot see properly. That's what the mirror does. So we are here today to discuss this policy by the federal government partnering with NDLEA. What does it hold? Now they are saying they're not going to expel anybody, whether you like it or not. I've been on this drug issue for like 2-3 episodes now. Drug is ravaging our youth. People are, if you go on the street, a lot of people you see, insane people on the road. If you take a closer look or do a little bit investigation, it's from substance they have taken, and it's damaging their system and it's destroying our society. And so we are looking at it from the home now, the parents' role, the university role, the lecturers' role. And government is saying they're not doing this because they want to punish or they want to expel students, but to rehabilitate them, to build them, to counsel, bring them back to when you're fit to in the society. So we're not going to cover it up. So today, to do this with me, I have my guest in the house today, Dr. Steve Anurudu, Associate Professor of English Language, HOD, Department of English Studies, University of Port Harcourt. We share insight on how language, education, and communication shape the way we understand and respond to policies such as this. But he's been in the business for lecturing for so many years. He's not just a lecturer, he is a pastor. So you know that He's coming from both sides. He's passionate about the job, and he's been doing it. So he's going to tell us how. I also have with me here a student, a 300 level student, what you call Mesoma, who also tell us as a student what she feels. Now, Dr. Steve will come from the angle of the university, the angle of a pastor and a parent, and let's see how we can do it. And don't forget, at the end of the day, we are going to give counseling, what we think, what he thinks, or what the government can do, or what parents and how students can handle. Let's be my guest. You're welcome, sir. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
He was supposed to be here last Friday, but it was his birthday. Happy birthday, Simon. Belated happy birthday. I hope he had this a very beautiful birthday.
Yes, my students celebrated.
As usual.
As usual.
Ms. Oma, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Now, sir, if you're watching us online, now you can always tune to this program every Friday, 10 a.m. You can watch us on RSTV online, on Facebook, and on YouTube. You can send in your questions, and like I always say, the guest will always do justice. Whether he's here or not, he will send the answers to you. So thanks for joining us. That's our social media handles will be scrolled online, so you can see and then follow us. Share your thoughts, your comments, your likes, and all that. Sir, you're welcome to the program. Now,
Thank you.
I took time to do a little bit of what the government and those schools that have started on the drug, because whether we like it or not, the drug issue is something that is damaging our society.
Sure.
A lot of young people you see on the street, roaming the street today, they are from taking substances they ought not to take. And that's why I say the mirror comes from the charity begins at home. If you can help them from the home, we will get our society better. Now, I know that ASU is planning to go on strike again. No,
I don't want to talk about that.
But yes, but the students will be returning back to school very soon. Now, Kwara, Abuja, and then they've started, and Lagos started. Our University of Port Harcourt, have we started, or are we ready to start?
I'm not in the right position to talk about whether Uniport is starting or not.
Okay.
But I'll give a general view of it. One, everybody knows drug is a big menace in the society today. And no parent wants the child to be a drug addict.
Exactly.
How does the substance abuse start? We need to address the beginning before we can think of solutions. How does drug abuse start? Where can we start early and nip it in the bud so it doesn't get to addiction? It starts one with peer pressure. But before peer pressure, if a child will be so pressured by the peers, it must have been that the parents weren't at home. They weren't there for the child.
We are hustling for money.
Today's child is left on his own, left to the internet, left to social media, left to friends, and not even well-wishers. Those days we used to have adults that could just walk up to any child and correct. It's no longer the case. So now, if I walk in the street and they say a child messing up, I can't tell the child stop. No, because it's no longer the society, community society we used to have. We have an adult that could stop me if I was messing up then and beat me to stupor, not to kill. And when my parents saw the child, saw what was done to me, and the parent that did that, they will shake his hands and say, well done. You even get beaten as well, because such a man of renown will not just beat you for no reason. That was the society we had then. But now we have a society, close-knit, single, individualistic society, where they tell you, do it, you can do it. Do it on your own, you're able. No man is an island. But no one can really live in a society where you're alone and do what you want. So you have half-developed, unbalanced society of Gen Zs, or what do they call them now? Gen Alpha,
Gen Alpha.
the new one. So the Gen Alpha, they just live their lives within their whims, and whatever comes to their minds, they try. They try out whatever they want to try.
Is it because
So,
the parents are absent in their life?
one, the parents are absent.
Okay,
Two, the parents are not watchful.
okay.
Some parents have their children having single rooms on their own, and they never enter. They don't know what goes on there.
That's
They
true.
don't know what they watch online, the pornography, the societies they join online. They don't know. Some of the young people, even in primary, secondary schools, are initiated to cult organizations right online, and the parents are not aware. And it's not because of society or say you're rich or you're poor. The phone, the internet is everywhere. You don't have to be rich to afford the internet. Just a little change, you're able to do whatever you want to do. Now the issue is, how is parenting now? Have you gone out and seen children misbehave? Have you been in a bus and seen a child misbehaving, and the mother is there and the father is there? We have parents that are not parented. That's the case.
Parents that are not parented.
Yes, parents that are not parented,
Parenting.
they weren't parented. They were allowed to grow on their own.
On their own.
So that's the problem of Gen Alpha. We have young children. How old is an adult? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. There could be a 50-year, 60-year-old woman or man that thinks like with the mentality of a 15-year-old. There's so many of them are everywhere. Now, how do you know whether these people are grown up and could decide what is good and what is wrong? Engage them in arguments. Engage them in discussions. Just call them, engage them. You will know their reasoning level. Many of these Gen Alpha, it says Gen Alpha, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Alpha.
Is there another Gen after the Alpha?
No, they're not. No.
Okay.
No one has come. So we have Gen Z and
Gen
Alpha.
Z, Gen
Where do you
Alpha.
fall into?
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
So all the Gen Zs and Alphas, they weren't trained. And many of them are now giving birth to children who are not learning anything from them. And churches are not helping matter. Because when we were growing up, we were afraid when going to church. But now they are no longer afraid going to church. They can play, do whatever, dance, do anything. I'm not saying dancing is good. It's not something bad. But there's how to condone yourself in a church setting. There's how to condone yourself in a society. There's how to behave when you're with people. And there's how to behave when you're at home. But all those demarcations are no longer there. You see them bring the social media to church, bring their naked lives to the social media. And you begin to ask, who trained these children? Are they afraid? I'll be afraid those days if I go out, that if I do anything wrong, my parents will scold me. And for fear of my parents, I'll try to be as good as possible. Even though I'm inside, I may be boiling, right? But I'll still control, contain all that.
So with this policy now, do you think that they are making it compulsory now? Do you think that the university can hold it? Or because some parents are skeptical, they are debating, they are rejecting it, they don't want it. You cannot compare my child to go for drug AC. It's not a drug addict. Just like you said, they are not aware. They don't know what these children do behind
their
them.
back.
And then they are now saying, we don't want this drug test. What's the balance?
Well, I tend to side with parents one way.
Okay, why?
One, there was a time NDLA advocated that all politicians must do compulsory
Drug test,
drug
yes.
test. And they knocked that off the board. And nobody heard about it again. It was killed. If you must come to equity, your hands must be clean.
Yes.
So if you are going to advocate that we do tests for all our words, you will do them. You'll get the people to do them. Let's start with your children. Come to think of it, Most of their children are not in our schools. So who are they advocating for? Who are they advocating for? Have they made the environment so well conducive so that the children will not be prone to drug and illicit drug? Now, even suicide is on the rise. That's another topic. Because there's depression everywhere. The society is not what it used to be. Those days, you could quickly move to an auntie's place and get succor. But now, your auntie is suffering. It's hot on all sides. Things are not what they used to be. So, you're advocating for growth text. Let's start with your children. If you ask me,
Okay.
most of the so-called drug barons, they are not children of not well-to-do children.
Because the drugs are expensive.
Because the drugs are expensive. Again, on a second note, if you want to start drug testing, have you gone to when they're doing admission processes, the queues at the medical centers to get tested, to do basic medical,
that's a whole
the
lot.
long queues. Now, if you're bringing drug testing to it, and that has to be for first-year students or returning students, what time do we have for academics if we have to create time for that long queue again, like bringing the banks to the schools? So where do we have the time? And the stampede, and when we do that and there's a stampede and some people are injured or lose their lives, it will be on the social media, the news will carry it, and we'll be shouting. Do we have formalities? Have we planned it that is workable and feasible? I don't see it as feasible, but if they could convince me that it's feasible, who am I not to accept?
Okay.
We want something good for the society.
I have a question in regard. Let me come to you, Mr. Ma. As a student now, a returning student, and then you resume on that day, and then let us assume that modalities have been put in place to do the testing now, and you're being called to go for because one thing in this part of the world is that stigmatization.
Yes.
We do it a lot here.
Yeah.
Every small thing you are being stigmatized, and that traumatizes a lot. People begin to, before you know, they're attacking you, other, and you're being asked, you're being subjected to do the test. How would you willingly go for the test?
I will not willingly go because I'll feel very bad because me now as a person, I don't even know this drug, like what kind of drugs they are, not to talk more of to take them. So asking me to do stuff like that can affect me psychologically and emotionally because, and then people will now be looking at me. Like me now in my school area, I have this reputation. People are like, Momjio, that's kind of what they call me.
Okay.
So now something like that, if I'm told to go and do a test like that because it's mandatory and me I'm a rules person and I don't want to do anything that will get the school against me. So I want to do it, but it's not willingly. It's not willingly because of the stress and the issues that comes with this school stuff. Because most of the time now, if they do that test, what if it turns out positive and is actually negative? Because Nigeria, everything
I was coming to that.
everything here in Nigeria is always somehow. So you cannot say that this is the actual test results. What if they make mistake and
Give someone
else's results to me,
yes.
and I'm going and like you said, I'm labeled and automatically now that's a stigma I have to carry, whether it's cleared or not. So everybody now will be like, this girl that used to do as if she's the holier than thou, that is going to church, all of that. So I don't feel like it's like my HOD rightly said, Nigeria, I don't think we can do something like that.
We are not ready.
We are not ready yet. We're not ready yet.
Okay.
Like we don't have what it takes.
Modalities.
Thank you very much. We don't have what it takes, the modalities put in place to handle such. Only the drug tests that we used to take in school. People will go there, they'll tell them their blood group is O+, they'll tell them this one is A. And when they go outside
I'm a victim.
and go to do an actual test, they'll realize that the genotype of blood group that they've been given in school is actually wrong. So something like this, as little as genotype, or that is not something that is so dangerous that will not affect you. Imagine when you go there and you're getting a test result, and then you are they tell you that you're positive, and then the school takes appropriate measures to want to handle this student that has tested positive. Now I'm taking away from academics, I'm taking away from, I mean, I'm someone that like book, I'm taking away from school, I'm taking away from all of those things. So it affects me eventually. Now how do I come back
That's why
to
this
society?
conversation comes,
That's
yes.
how do I come back? So me, I feel like it's not something.
But let me see now. You as a language expert, and the government is looking at building this thing into a curriculum. Do you think that if they do this, it will help the young people to adopt this system? Now, if we have all the modalities, because I know what she's talking about. I was a victim in the school there where I gave my blood sample for a test and I had this result, and all the while I believed that that was my result. It only happened when I was getting married, that 1 week the church had to send me for another test, and another result came out, and I said it's not possible, that's not my result. And the church said this is your result, and I was made to go to another clinic to run the test again. And what the church gave me was exactly what it gave. So the school gave me, just like you said, a swap result. It's possible that that could happen. But if modalities accurately are being put in place, do you think we can build this into a curriculum that starts from the nursery primary? Because from not primary, secondary, we have children who are tampering and dealing with hard drugs. Now, can we make this into like a curriculum? Do you think it's possible?
Well, there's nothing impossible in as much you have a mind to do it right.
Okay.
Our problem here is not whether it's possible. The problem is, are we willing to do it? If you say there's going to be a test, there are parents that will resist it.
They are already resisting.
Okay? If you're saying there's going to be modalities, will they all accept the modalities? The children are minors, they don't decide. So their parents must decide at that level. Their parents must decide whether they want them to go through that or not. I, for one, will not even allow my child go through tests by an outsider, except I was there. I would not. So, feasibility, questionable.
Now, some Nigerians are skeptical, fearing stigma or misuses of the equipment. Now, how important is the role of language in reducing stigma and shaping the public perception around drug use and rehabilitation?
Very good question. Now, we talked about drug. There are euphemisms that we could use to lower the impact. Instead of saying drug use, substance. We can say substance abuse. That's less weighty.
Yeah, than
Less
drugs.
than drug. Drug implies someone who's in on it, like the Mexican. You know the name of the Mexican? Pablo, right? Like the Pablo. So when you say drug, we're thinking of Pablo. We're not thinking of Escobar. We're only thinking of Pablo. So language plays a role. You can use language to persuade, dissuade. How you talk to a child decides how the child is going to grow up. As I was coming now, I was telling Mesoma, before I got the car I have now, I don't see that car even when I'm on the road. But because I just got that car, as I go on the road, I suddenly see it everywhere. That is life. It things you are used to that you are aware of.
Yeah.
Some of these children, except their parents start early, the Bible is still right. Train up a child in the way it will go. When it grows up, it will not depart from it. If the training wasn't done at home, it will be done for them somewhere. So you better train your child, or we'll help you train him by forcing him
but that's
to do what
we
you
have.
do.
In the university, we have our certificate carries
in learning,
and in character.
character, right?
So it's supposed to be that if the children were not trained at home, in a university, the children should. Okay, now before you come in, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we continue the program. Don't go away. Welcome back to the mirror where every reflection inspires a change. If you're watching us online at RSTV online, Facebook and YouTube, to send in your questions, you drop your questions and I keep watching, subscribe, like and comment. We'd like to see those messages when you send them. It shows that you are following and we appreciate you. Now, we are still talking here in the studio now, drug testing in our tertiary institutions, do or not? What do you think? And I've been talking to the Associate Professor of English Studies, University of Port Harcourt, English House, Dr. Stephen Anurudu, and as 300 level student, Wachuku Besoma, we've been talking about this program. Let's see whether we are ready or not. What do we do? Because each time I go on the road and I see people, young people, you know, almost like they increase on daily basis. Now, how can we come? Do we support this idea of the federal government to partner with NLDA to do drug testing? Do we support it or do we kick against it? I mean, you know, one thing we do in Nigeria now, we want to see if the law can go for all, if everyone can be one. That's what we're about to say something we went on break.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about what you said, that parents raise their child, like they don't raise their child well. It's not, it should not be put all on the parents.
Okay.
There are people that I know that come from very respectable homes, that their parents raised right, and then coming into school, peer pressure, wanting to feel among, you forget where you're coming from. You forget your home training. So sometimes it's not the parents.
There's a portion of the Bible that says, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is grown, he will not depart. Is that part not part of the raising of the children?
It's part of it now.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying that some children, they are raised very, like I know someone.
Okay.
When she was at home, like in my house, that my area with us, this girl is very nice, always going to church, like even that time when before she entered school, and she'll be like, I should not do this, should not do that. Now
she has turned.
She has joined them. She
now
wants to do the in thing, revealing clothes, parties, clubs. Even what took her to school initially, she has forgotten them. She has abandoned, and then when she comes back home, she still pretends to be that. So there's that
parents
double,
have not noticed.
There's that double standard. So it's not entirely the
parents' fault.
Gen Z, they are very, very smart. Very, very smart. They will manipulate and confuse you. You even begin to question yourself. Am I sure that I actually? Okay. So it can be up to that extent. So it's not entirely, as much as the parents granted, they have the larger role to play. They are the ones who raise the child from small before they allow them to go to school. But it's not entirely their fault. There are most things that I see in school. My mom is not with me in school here, but there are certain things that I want to do. When I think about it, like, this will hurt my mom, she finds out. Not every child has that kind of spirit in them, that mentality in them. It's not everybody that would say, okay, this thing may hurt my family, it may hurt my mom, it may hurt my reputation. Not everybody cares. Gen Z will say, I want to do what makes me happy. You only live once. So they don't care about all
that is the slogan, what makes me happy.
What makes me happy.
Only
and that's caused a lot of problem in this current in this society now, because everybody's doing what makes them happy. And what makes you happy can be what destroys another or what brings problems in society. So it's not entirely the parents' fault. Students too should take their own blame. Because you have been raised, let's say you enter school at 17. For 16 years of your life, you have faced a particular way that's of life. You know that this is right. You are being raised like this. You have even seen consequences of people that have gone astray. And then coming to school, just so that your friends will not say that you are this or you're that, and just to feel among, and then you will say, let me test this drug, let me see. And before you know, small addiction, let me try this. Before you know it, and you are roped into the life before you can even pull yourself out. So it's not entirely me. I will not entirely blame the parents. Even this one that you said about children, parents not being at home and all of that. Growing up, my mom was a hustler. Okay. She wasn't really at home with us, like growing up. It was my uncles, my aunties, because I grew up in a family home. It was my uncles, my aunties, and my grandma. So, but then everybody too was busy.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 21.
Okay.
Everybody was busy too, trying to do their life. So when we come back from school, we don't meet anybody at home. They don't know what we're doing. But knowing fully well that, okay, you don't want to cause, that's, if it's my friend, she'll say, whatever you do, pray for a kind child. Because it's not always about the parents' fault. Yeah. Some children are just problems that were sent to torment their parents' lives. Honestly.
Okay.
So it's not always like that. It's not always like that. It's not a parents. Students too, they should take their own blame.
Oh wow.
They should you send them money. Instead of them to use it, they will use it to go and do drugs or use it to follow friends around and party and then.
You know, this is why I say the mirror, it's real situations. We talk real, and it's only we talk real things that we can cancel and help ourselves. This is real situations, because, sir, don't forget that, like she said now, these parents need to hustle for the money.
Very necessary.
Now we have situations where today one parent's fund is not enough.
Sure. Because
the bills are too much, and so we are having collective funding to help. So we put them out there, just like you rightly said. Now you've been raised for 16 years of your life. You've been trained in a pattern, a way. So the minute so all this while you've been training, the minute you move, you now suddenly turn, and then you are forgetting how you were trained. So I think I share in that, not totally. There are still some parents who, just like you said, who were not parented, who are young, giving birth to the alpha, what do they call it? Gen alphas, and all that. So they don't even some of them know that these children are taking substance, but I know someone who is that boy should be like 15, 16. And he can stand and fight his mother. Yes. She can't talk to him. She can't. She has lost that grip.
Oh, well,
on that child.
I think the parent contributed to
that. She was not raised well, or that the child, just like she said, decided to just, what did you call it? Say, there's something she used. They decide to be the problem or something to their parents.
Okay, there are some children are sent to be problems to their parents.
But you see the sibling of, I know the sibling of this particular boy, but they're not like that. But he is something else. I think he has a reason, because we tried to talk to this particular boy, and he had a reason. There's so many things he said, but that's not enough to humiliate, to warrant such
raising hands against a parent. In African society, we see that as taboo. It's a curse. Any child that raises his or her hands against the parent in our society, Nigerian society, that child is already a curse to himself or herself.
Okay, now.
But I have another angle to that.
Okay.
If a child misbehaved those days, there are role models they feared. Teachers those days, if they tell you you are going to stay with principal this or headmaster this, it's a thing of pride. They will if this child is difficult, the parent will carry the child. Principal, please, let the child stay with you. And within 2-3 years, that child behaves normal and turns a new leaf. That's because the society saw that headmaster or principal and somebody of renown, impeccable character. The society revered him or her. And that was the reason they are able to bring change. In today's world, there are still mentors that could mentor. But this year, Gen Z or Gen Alpha, what you call them, they think they know more than you. They know more than everyone. So nobody learns from anyone. And because nobody learns, the society is not changed. Things get worse. And it will keep getting worse and worse. You remember those old headmasters? You remember those retired generals, those retired teachers, how the society carried them up high. That was because they had their remunerations, pensions, and they were still respected. These days, how many of those people that could cancel your children, they're still struggling on how to get their pensions and diverted?
Yes.
But all those are sides to it. What am I saying in effect? To raise this child well involves the whole society, the community. It's not just the parents. Given that parents are given the duty of taking care of their words, but the society has a role to play, and that role is setting the limits and the mark. NDLA and the Nigerian government, if they want to start testing for drugs, they must give us reasons and why and how, modalities. Everything must be put in place. And if everybody must go through it, their children that they sent to UK, to America, to Canada, must come here and do the test. So let's all go along.
Okay, now, let me hear this final question now. Beyond testing, what communication strategies can universities adopt to create a supportive, drug-free learning environment?
Simple. Very simple. Don't be the boss. Come down to their level. Come down to their level. I know in the universities, some lecturers were the bosses. They know it all. They just bully students. You can't pass this course. I am the Lord of this course. Everybody, no matter how good you are, if you score 60 in my course, then you're good. 60 is for you, 70 is for God, and all such. That's bullying. If lecturers bully, teachers bully, primary, secondary school teachers bully their words, they will see the society as a war zone. So they put them defensive mechanism. So the aggression to others is for self-protect. So if we must have a balanced society, the teachers need continuous training.
Okay.
How many times have we taken our teachers for training? I go to Bayelsa, they do that often. Bayelsa State Government does continuous teacher training. Rivers State, I've not heard of that since Ameshi's time. It has never been done. These teachers...
Maybe they are doing, but you've not heard.
Maybe I've not heard.
It's not in the public domain.
Maybe I've not heard. But there ought to be continuous training for teachers. There ought to be continuous training for lecturers, administrators, people that control the society. Get people in the industry that have experience. You don't bring a lecturer that's been in the system to come and teach his fellow lecturers what he knows, which many of them also know.
No.
Get people in the industry. My quarrel with some of the courses with especially entrepreneurship is you get a lecturer to teach me entrepreneurship. I want people like, what's the glow man?
Femi, I mean, is it
Adenuga.
Adenuga.
Adenuga, Otedola, Dangote. Bring them to the university. Let them come and share experiences. Let those in the industry affect those. It will change people. If you want to talk about drug testing, find out those who have been in drugs, who are renowned, and they've got free from it, and they're living free of it. Get them to talk to these people. It was easy for me to accept from somebody I know was in drug and got delivered than to accept from someone who's teaching theories. That's the way it goes.
I had Professor Chad Omore of Physics Department, University of Port Harcourt last week, and he said the same thing.
Wow.
That the problem is having entrepreneurship is not bringing the right people who are in the business to come and teach.
Yeah.
And you're bringing someone who is among us to teach. That until the government do that, go get someone who is being trained, who is in entrepreneurship, and we know to come and teach. In that way, you're doing the right thing. He said the same thing, and then
we're looking for success stories. Yes. Give us from your life experience, not theories. That which is workable is what we're looking for. So if we want to be drug-free, find those who got free from drugs, find those who are involved in counseling. I have friends, I have a young man, Instadat, that's his name, Abali, a young man. If get him very bad students, just give him like 3 months, we turn them around. He has a place.
It is
yes,
like a rehab center.
Rehab center
in Port Harcourt.
Not in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Somewhere in Lagos.
Okay.
Get him people that are rejected by their parents. Just gather them, give them to him. Give him 3-6 months. They'll be paying him. The parents will give him anything because there are people who know how to control children.
Okay.
Whether you call them Gen Z, Gen Alpha, words, language. How you speak to a child matters.
Yeah.
It's not about words. Words carry life. So the way you address a child determines, because we are reasoning agents, we are reasoning human beings. Now, no matter how tough and hard set a child is, when he knows you are condescending, when he knows you are coming to his level, when he knows you are willing and you have his interests at heart, children are more psychological than monophores. As you're talking, if you raise a cane, you will know whether the mother is going to really beat or the mother is trying to threaten. So when they know that it's just an empty threat, they will keep doing it. But if you must raise the cane, let the cane go down.
Okay.
But if you don't want to raise the cane, don't do it. These are more psychological than you. These kids of this generation. Things you did not know when you were at their age, they know it now. And they know more than you do because they go online, they've read so many things. So it requires a new kind of approach to train the Gen Z, Gen Alpha. The society, Nigerian society, is one of the best societies in the world.
Okay.
Drug or no drug, if we must fight any vice, find the right people with the right words, with the right experience, with the right background, understanding, we'll see the society can change. I don't see drug as something intractable. I don't see it as something we cannot defeat. We fought many wars, mind wars, and we were one. Take Nigerians anywhere in the world, Nigerians will succeed.
Yes.
Well, if you've gone out to other countries, you know the drug case is not as much as we think or blow it out. Yeah. Although the United Nations say Nigeria has a 14.4% case of drug substance abuse, I don't rely on all these data because these data could be formulated anywhere, from anywhere. But what I'm sure of is that we have one of the best set of human beings on earth, Nigerians.
Oh, wow.
And I trust that we can make the best, given the right people to manage these resources. Remember, human beings are resources. These children are resources. If we see them as troublemakers, that's what we produce.
Exactly.
But if we see them as agents of change, and that's the slogan, why should our young Gen Z are saying, we need young people in power. We need young people in government. But if you just carry them the way they are now, put them in government, the whole place will go up in flames. Now they need mentors, they need elders, they need senior people, they need people with character, people with a mindset of development, not a mindset of make money, and all what have you.
Okay,
Thank you.
our time is far running. So before I take my closing line from you, Prof, let's hear from you once more. What's your final word now to your fellow students, to the government, to the school, and to on this policy?
Okay. I will still stand on what I said earlier.
Okay.
If the right modalities are put in place, it's something that is feasible, that will work. But knowing the country that we are in like at the states it is now, it will do more harm than good.
Okay.
That's my opinion. Because if you talk about how the stigma that comes with being tested in case of in the case of wrong results, and then not having the appropriate people to counsel the people that test positive, because Nigeria is all about punish. Maybe they might just end up rusticating the students or something.
No, they said they would not rusticate.
They
will not punish. They will only counsel and rehabilitate.
They will counsel and
Support,
rehabilitate.
yes.
Well, I don't have much faith in any policy that Nigerian government makes. I'm just being very, very honest, because most of the time Nigerian government makes amazing policies, beautiful policies, but it is in the implementation that problem comes in, because they don't have the right people. So if they would put the right circumstances, the right people, the right facilities, ensure that nobody goes on with the wrong results that would stigmatize the person or destroy the person's reputation, then good and fine. I think it would actually put that fear in students that if they know that there will be something like a drug test, that their parents would find out that they're involved in something like this, it will actually curtail their use of drugs, and at least they will continue with the lifestyle they've always known. So
Okay, sir. So final from you now. What to the government, to university parents, and then students?
I want the government to go back to drawing board, to ascertain how they want to run this, and be sure that the modalities are right.
Okay.
And let it be all inclusive. Let it not be something to victimize the poor.
Yeah.
Like some people will go without the testing and have the result written and given to them, and they wouldn't have done any testing. While some others who are not connected, powerfully connected in the Nigerian palace, will be subjected through rigorous drug testing.
Okay.
So if they are certain that they want to carry it out, let it be all embracing.
Okay. Now today on Inside the Mirror, we have reflected on the rise of drug testing in Nigerian universities, a policy that sparks debate but also carries a promise of health, guidance and rehabilitation for our students. And we've heard the language we use matters. It can stigmatize or it can heal. It can silence or it can open doors to understanding. And in shaping the future of our young people, education is not just about books and lectures, but about the values and support system we build around them. Like our certificates carry in university in learning and in character. This has been the Inside the Mirror with Beauty Benjamin, and reflecting on drug testing at universities and the future of our youth. Until next time, keep looking in the mirror, because every reflection tells a story, where every reflection inspires a change. That is Inside the Mirror. Don't miss an episode, because every Friday this program comes to you live from the studios of RSTV, and then we are always glad to receive your comments, your like, your follow and all that. Watch online, keep a date with us, same time, same station. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
I want to believe that some other time we'll call you for, and I didn't mention to you that He was my supervisor in the University of Port Harcourt, the English House, and he is one of, I'm not saying this because he's here, he's one of the best lecturers in that department. He's not because he's a pastor or because he's there, but when it comes to, you heard him say that when it comes to everything that has to do with a student, he's there to counsel you. And if you know, going to his office, there's a dress code. If you're not properly dressed, as you open the door, you tell you, please just go back, turn back and go and dress well. He doesn't harass you, but tell you polite. And when you dress well, you come back. He's one of the best, and I'm lucky that I passed through. Thank you so much for helping me with that topic. You know, it actually did help me to choose the topic. He changed it, I chose it, and guided me, and I did an amazing work with it. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. Mr. Man, thank you for coming to the program today. Hope that some other time we could have a time like this again.
Sure.
Thank you, and keep watching The Mirror with Beauty Benjamin. Every reflection, a thousand story. See you same time, same station next week. And keep following us on our social media.